I've been leading the Fajr Salah in our masjid for the last 6 months, and prior to that, I failed to wake up for Fajr for 8 months. And in this video, I've compiled the 4 steps I usually use. Very simple steps to wake up for Fajr. Step number 1: understand time in bed is not the same as time asleep. The duration, people usually go to bed and think that's a bedtime. No, but before your brain starts registering, before you're actually asleep, it's completely different from the time you're in bed. What I want you to do is to sit down and think about, usually by now you've already known how many minutes on average it usually is to take you to sleep. But if you don't, then try experimenting. Okay, try experimenting, like just estimate a number. For me, I usually use 10 minutes. Sometimes I sleep earlier 10 minutes. Sometimes when I'm really tired, 2 minutes, I'm asleep. Sometimes I don't understand, I do overthink sometimes. So on average about 10 minutes. Some people do 30 minutes, some people do even up to an hour. So what you do is calculate that time. That's the first thing. Step number 2 is to use the 90 minutes rule. You probably heard of the sleep cycle. It's about 90 minute cycles. Some people about 70 minutes, some people about 120. But on average, like vast majority of people, is about 90 minutes. So what I want you to do is, after calculating those duration, when you close your eyes in bed and the time you sleep, for if it's about 10 minutes, and then calculate how many sleep cycles do you want to get. I know some medical doctors will be like, no, this is unhealthy. No, I'm not saying it's unhealthy, but you could wake up at literally one cycle. This method, you can wake up after one cycle. Like, I mean, after an hour and a half, you can wake up. So the thing is that you calculate, ideally, if you go to bed by 10, okay? Because that's the vast majority of people, they go to sleep by 10. Some people 11. But let's just say, for the sake of this video, you go to sleep at 10. The amount of cycles you would add, let's say one cycle is about an hour and a half, 2 cycles about 3 hours. Ideally, let's just pick 4 cycles for this video, which is about 6 hours. So from 10 plus 6 hours, that's about 4 a.m. So that's the time I want you to wake up. So those 6 hours, and then before you put the time, put in those buffer time, those time duration you usually do before you sleep. So for me, it's 10 minutes plus 6 hours. And then what I noticed is I was not putting an alarm, I was putting a timer. The moment I put it and then I'm looking at the timer and then I'll keep it over bed, I noticed for about like 3 to 4 times, I know every single time I woke up before the alarm, before the timer. But if you do use your alarm, then fine. You can experiment with an alarm or a timer. Then step number 3, press on the alarm, press on the timer, let it start moving, and then do your dua and go to sleep. Just keep the phone near you so that you will not disturb other people. Immediately at the end of the cycle, you'll be able to wake up. Why? Because you're not in deep sleep. The reason you're not hearing the alarm, the reason you're not waking up is because you are not exerting the deep sleep. But when it reaches the exact cycle, that's the hack. You'll be able to wake up. You wake up freely. You not feel all this like grogginess and everything. Okay. Step number 3, you go to sleep. Step number 4, you would wake up after the timer. And this is the very important thing. The moment you wake up, try to leave the bed as fast as possible. Okay, immediately try to leave the bed. Why? Because if you don't leave the bed and your eyes close back again, you're gonna enter a new cycle. Which, when you enter a new cycle, you might not wake up for Fajr. Fajr is like 5:30, whatever. So that's the thing. Calculate the amount of cycles you want. Ideally 6 cycles. Some people do 3 cycles, they wake up and then go back to sleep. But there's another problem. Okay, after these 4 steps, there's another problem that I saw in my own journey. Because some of the times I woke up multiple times through the night. Okay, I found myself waking up multiple times. I would wake up to go to the bathroom and come back to go sleep again. I would wake up multiple times. For those kind of things, just observe the time you wake up. The last time should be minimum at a cycle. Because when sometimes I do wake up like 4, sometimes I wake up like 3:50 and then I will go to sleep and then I'll miss Fajr. For those days that you wake up, just try to be awake. Okay, try to be awake. Or if you cannot be awake, there's a method I even try to just sleep. If, for example, you woke up 4:30 and Fajr is like 5 a.m. and you're really tired, you want to sleep, what you will do in those occasions is to sleep while sitting down so that you will not enter deep sleep. Okay, sit down and sleep. When you do that, you'll be able to hear the alarm, but you'll be a little bit groggy, but you'll still hear the alarm, so you will not enter deep sleep. You'll be entering like about the second stage of sleep, and then you'll be able to wake up. I've never tried these steps, this 4-step framework. It doesn't work for me. I've never ever tried those things. But another problem again arose, which is some people don't get to sleep. Sometimes you'll be in bed but you'll not be sleepy. Like for me, in the like last month especially, I do realize that I go to bed but I don't sleep early. I'll sit down overthinking, like my brain will just be active for about an hour. For those kind of people, there's this book, Why We Sleep by Dr. Matthew Walker. I want you to read those books, and what will help you, like that person just talk about, if you could not sleep in bed, that means your brain have registered that sleeping position, that bed, as like not a place for sleep, maybe for work, maybe you've been using your phone in bed for a long time. So what you will do is leave that place and go and exhaust yourself so that you'll be feeling sleepy. Even if you don't sleep maybe like 1 a.m., it doesn't matter. Exhaust yourself. then come back and use those 90 minutes rule. When you're sleeping 1 a.m., however, is you have to do just 2 cycles. Just wake up at 4. Please wake up at 4, because if you don't, you'll be able to miss Fajr. There's a high likelihood you'll miss Fajr. So train your circadian rhythm. That's it. There's this internal clock called circadian rhythm. Is what's used like in the olden days, how people waking up, able to wake up without an alarm, everything. It's the circadian rhythm. They have already trained the circadian rhythm. Or like for most history, everybody was have a trained circadian rhythm. It's just that we nowadays we sleep at different times and everything. So use this method. Wake up consistently. Do it about 14 days. I think there's a study say between a week and 2 weeks to be able to fix your circadian rhythm. And I hope this video was helpful. I would like to end with a humble quote. Too much attention makes a donkey. Thank you, Salaam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.